In this episode of Travel Taught Me, you'll get a flavor of a quintessential Maldives resort holiday. This is going to be about Meeru Maldives, and I'm going to take you on the full tour, including all the meals, the services, the activities, and of course, that Maldives sunset. Now, first things first, the selection process. Choosing the right resort for Maldives can be very, very confusing. You get so much information about different resorts. At some point, they all do look the same. So for me, the criteria, given that we were traveling with a young family, it was important that it is a short ride by boat from the airport, because we did not want to take a seaplane. And also it had a lot of amenities and facilities, but also not premium 7-star, because that is ridiculously expensive. So tried to find the right balance, but yes, proximity to the airport. Not exactly didn't need to be on Malé Island, but a short boat ride away. And given that criteria, I found Meeru Maldives as a very good option. I'll get into the details and numbers towards the end of the video, but for now, let's start from the beginning. So the journey begins at Malé International Airport. We landed, everything went smoothly. And then when we got to the help desk, it was a bit chaotic because there were lots of different seaplane carriers, ferries, different operators. So it just took a while to find the right one, because you have all these desks at the airport. So it just takes a while to find the right one. But eventually we found the right one for the hotel. Unfortunately, the next ferry we were told was an hour later. So we had to wait for an hour at the airport, which was okay. I mean, the airport is pretty small, so it does pretty much walk through it very quickly. So it's just a matter of waiting it out. But eventually we were up and running in an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, to be honest. You just have to make sure that they have enough guests to board the ferry, and then they set you off on your way. So the journey was a short 35-40 minute journey from the airport to the resort. A bit bumpy, but nothing too extraordinary. Again, with a baby and a family, it was manageable. Sometimes the sea does get rough, I guess, and that might be tricky, but the ferry was completely fine. Anyways, now to the main part. And there it is. As soon as you disembark the ferry, you see that quintessential white sand, turquoise water, Maldives beach vibe, and you really feel like you're someplace special. And as we made our way to the entrance of the resort, we were welcomed in a traditional fashion. The staff was very kind and very friendly, looked after us. Had a bit of a welcome song or chant for us when we entered. We got a welcome tea drink, which was nice and relaxing after a long journey. And the staff was really friendly. Of course, we did the whole check-in process, which was very smooth. We did arrive late morning, so before the official check-in time, but the staff were kind enough to let us in straight away, and we didn't have to wait till the official 2 o'clock check-in time, which made our life a lot easier. So of course, given it's a room, you do have to travel by buggy across the resort to get to the room. So we were taken by buggy to our room straight away. And the room we booked was a beach villa. Of course, traveling with a baby, you cannot get the quintessential water villas. It's a safety precaution. We got the beach villa, which was very nice. Just, it had you could just walk onto the beach from the room. The bathroom was outdoor, sort of, which was a bit interesting. So you're kind of like mingling with nature while you're in the toilet, which I guess is some people prefer that. I'm not sure. It was a bit strange in the beginning, but it does give you a feel that you're on a natural resort, so to speak. But everything was perfectly fine. The room sizes were okay. Nothing extraordinary. Pretty decent. And for, again, the price that you pay for, it was a very, very good room with good facilities. So it was time for lunch, and we had obviously the full board package. So we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner included, and we headed to get our lunch. Now I'll cover all the meals in one going away, and obviously lunch, breakfast, dinner. They had their own specific menus, but overall the food experience was very good. It had very diverse cuisines, all the way from your typical pizza, pasta, Italian cuisine in a way, to your Pan-Asian, Indian, European. So depending on the day, it was different. Of course, for breakfast, I had to get my quintessential pancakes and waffles. So there was that also. But very good, diverse cuisine options. So no issues with that. Pretty much anything you wanted was available. And of course, if you had any dietary requirements, they were more than accommodating for that. And of course, they had phenomenal dessert options. I obviously have a very big sweet tooth. You can tell by my pancake fascination. But also they had this fantastic dessert, which was this ice cream bun type thing, which they had, which I really liked. And that probably was my highlight of all the meals. Very wholesome meal package, so no complaints on that side. Now let's get into why you really go to the Maldives, the beach. Of course, as I mentioned, we had the beach villa, which meant as soon as you open the door, you can literally walk onto the white sand, and a couple of steps away, you are into the water. And there you get the real premium feel of being in the Maldives. The beach was phenomenal. Of course, it was an island, so you had beach all around the resort. You could walk around, and you always got a different shade of the water depending on what side of the beach or the island that you were at. So that was a really cool experience. But of course, yeah, it was fantastic just walking onto the beach, having a bit of a stroll around, a swim, the crystal clear water, the turquoise color. It was just everything that you can imagine a Maldives resort would be like. But of course, it's not just about relaxing by the beach. It's also about getting some activities done. Of course, being in the Maldives, you do get to do a lot of the water-related activities. We did the snorkeling, which was a very good experience. Kind of had to do it in turns. Traveling with the baby, obviously, couldn't do that together. But yeah, it was an experience that we had to sign up with the resort with. They took us down deeper into the sea where you could snorkel, all the equipment was provided. And yeah, you saw some really, really cool marine life, the coral reefs. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a fantastic experience. I would definitely recommend you to do it if you're in the Maldives. Of course, you will do it because it is the number one thing to do wherever you are in the Maldives. If you're not brave enough to do scuba diving, then snorkeling is a very, very good way of exploring the marine life. But of course, there are also other activities on site. There is a fully functional gym, pretty much all the machines and weights that you can think of. There was a separate workout or yoga type room or stretching room, as you call it, where you can work out in private or in a small group if you wanted to. And the gym on its own had pretty much everything that you can imagine. So definitely for those fitness buffs, it's a definite positive there. Now on the personal front, and this is not the reason why I chose this resort, was also the fact that it had a very small golf course on it, a sort of a pitch and putt facility, which was good. It was pretty cool. I did obviously get to play once, but it was a nice experience. It was a very small, short golf course. It has a good feel to the whole resort where you can go out and enjoy yourself. Also, it had a football pitch, cricket nets, badminton, paddle, of course, tennis. So pretty much all the sports that you would expect. In fact, every Sunday, they had like a football match between the guests and the staff. So it was a good experience. They also had like a volleyball net as well. So pretty much most of the sports were covered. So if you're into sports, definitely I would recommend this resort as well because it has a lot of sporting activity, indoor and outdoor. But the activities don't stop there. There's also an indoor gaming room which had table tennis, foosball, chess, pool, so all those indoor sports or indoor games that you like to play. You also have that option, which is nice if you have young kids and stuff and you don't want to spend too much time outdoors or if it's too hot during the day, which sometimes it was. So you do have the option of having these activities as well. And also if you prefer to relax, reflect on things and meditate, there also was a mosque on site and a religious room. And also if you just want to chill and read a book or something, they also had a small library on site, which again I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, that means there's something for everyone, whether you like outdoor sports, indoor games. I'm sure you could arrange some board games as well if you wanted to. And of course, if you want a more quieter time, there are facilities there for you to enjoy that as well. And of course, if you just want to recharge from all the activities, they had a couple of spas on the resort where you could book massages and different treatments, again, to help you recover, recharge, and just relax your muscles and relax yourself while you're at the resort. And also, again, not to carry on with all the activities, but there are also different ones like beach yoga at the sunset. Again, it helps you work out with a bit of a relaxing, soothing background and atmosphere while you're at it. And speaking of sunset yogas, the sunset part of it, of course, it won't be a Travel Taught Me video. Well, there are no real viewpoints here, but without a sunset because the sunsets were absolutely amazing. Of course, there was a couple of swimming pools, so you could go and experience those as well. But why would you when you have such a fantastic beach right there? But at Meeru Maldives, at least, they had the poolside and the beach. They had a fantastic view of the sunset, especially one evening. It was really, really nice and calm. They had live music playing, very soothing. You just go and relax, grab some coconut water or drink or whatever you want. And it was just such a relaxing experience just by the sunset, enjoying the vibe, soaking it all in. And that's sometimes what it's all about. You can have all these fancy activities, whatever, but just sitting by the beach or by the pool and enjoying the vibes during sunset is just a fantastic experience and pretty much what you'd expect when you're going to the Maldives. You don't expect to be on a busy, full of activities type of a trip. It is very, very relaxing, and that's exactly what that provided. But if you want to also have fun and go out and about, there obviously are bars and a couple of nightclubs on site as well. So if you want to enjoy that, there's that option as well. And lastly, just from a logistics point of view, they also have a small shop on site with some basic necessities if you want to get them, and also some merchandise, which of course are typically overpriced. But if you are one who wants to get some fridge magnets or souvenirs or t-shirts or whatever, you do get that option. Pretty much very wholesome suite of offerings everywhere. So definitely from the food to the activities to amenities, absolutely phenomenal. So to finish off, the part I guess most of you are waiting for, how much did all of this cost? Of course, with the full board option, you don't have to pay for any of the meals. But of course, that does mean that you're a bit restricted because only certain parts of the resort where you can go with the full board option. If you had the all-inclusive option, then you get a couple more restaurants, which is obviously a bit more expensive, but we didn't feel the need to go for that one. But even with the full board, it was pretty decent. I think for about 4 nights, it was around $1,000 US, which was just a resort itself, but also $350 of the cost for the ferry, which is pretty extortionate if you think about it, given that it's a 40-minute ferry from the airport to the resort. But I guess that's the only way to get there. So they try and make some extra bucks there as well. But it is what it is. And then that's kind of one thing you have to be careful of when you're going to the Maldives. One is the price of the resort, but also the price of the transportation, especially if you take a seaplane, that might be slightly more expensive. So there you have it. That's my review of the Meeru Maldives. Definitely would recommend it. It's got pretty much everything. Really good food, great activities, especially if you're into sport. And even if you're a group of friends who like to be active, you can go there, you can play football if you want to, you can play tennis, paddle, have a bit of an activity laden holiday, which if that's your vibe, then you can definitely do that. But you can also have a good chilled, relaxed beach vibe as well. Definitely not premium, wouldn't compare it to something like Four Seasons Resort or something like that, but that's not the vibe that we were going for as well. Also, they would probably be 3 or 4 times the price anyway. But overall, I think for what it was definitely a very, very good resort. And of course, once you get there, you must try that brioche bun ice cream sandwich. It was really delicious. So definitely make sure you try that. But yeah, overall, I would recommend Meeru Maldives as your next holiday destination at the Maldives.